Okay, guys, yeah, welcome back, and this is gonna be the follow-up series to the part two, and we're gonna go in and continue watching our TB Joshua show. But so far, you've watched it with me. We just want to also have a chill, a good time, and enjoy what has been out. But guys, what you can say is, or what I can say rather, is there is a lot of misconception being passed around here. We're seeing the use of language as a medium to conclude that TB Joshua was manipulating or trying to hypnotize people. All I'm saying is this: here in Africa, here in Nigeria, we have a way we regard our churches. We have a way we regard our pastors, Daddy Gio and all that. So for us to not think that because there is this regular use of the word daddy or whatever in Scoan, that's the Bush's church, then it's the conclusion that it's a cult. That makes no sense for me. Semantics is what I'll say is the problem. But let's go on now, and we're now going to get to the main one, the interesting one, where these ladies start to recount the abuse that they went through. And then I was just trying to get set for the show. Let's look into it right here. Okay.
There's a witch doctor here. You are not a pastor, but you call yourself pastor because you use evil power.
The world needs to be awakened to the truth of who TB Joshua was.
My dad, he had fear. He had fear, constant fear. He was very afraid that someone would speak up, turn around and make him answer to those things that.
Did she just say, did he or did she? Okay, it's a she. She. Did she just say her dad? Actually, guys, the real story of the fact is that this lady calling TB Joshua her dad was just an adopted child. Was just a lady allegedly, based on claims going around, seen in the church premises abandoned. And TB Joshua adopted her. Now you are going to see the way this girl is going to go in depth. And this same man who adopted her, she's going to make mincemeat of him. Look, man, I don't know.
That he had done.
The whole compound revolved around TB Joshua.
He is second in command to God. We live in that kind of environment that everybody try to outdo one another to make him happy.
Daddy, as we used to call him, he had young Nigerian boys that would run around for him up in his 5-story bedroom. You know, they'd get anything he wanted. They'd do his hair, they'd wash his underpants.
We were called 5-story brothers. That is, young guys like me that has the opportunity to serve the prophet. Just literally serve him just the way the maid serves kings.
People compare his 5-story brothers to be his personal slave because everything he needs, you must be there. All is in my mind is, where is he now? Has he eaten? Has he taken his bath? Is his shower ready?
You have to be there in his privacy. If I can use the word, even to the nudity, you see everything.
When TB Joshua needs to go to toilet, two of us has to be there in the toilet. He would remove his underwear to his knee level. Then we bring it down. We don't allow him to bend down.
There was
Think of all parts of the stories that sound silly at times. This is the one that gets me the most. You literally have to want to be there to help him drag his underpants down. Come on. I know you fake the story, but please, this is too much.
a lot of strange things behind closed doors.
His underwears, you know he wears white. Most times he pours this honey. He will pour it inside his pants, inside his underwear. He will pour it there. When he pours those honey there, he wears the underwear.
And I was like, what's the significance of this?
Why is he doing this?
There's a witch doctor here.
And an occult wizard, herbalists. I am the ultimate.
People were constantly coming for deliverance for witchcraft.
What were you asked herbalist to do for you? You went there and the herbalist may give you honey to rub your private.
A true man of God. All started when my mother and my father died. They were they took her to witch doctor.
I worship an idol.
What is this, your mommy water?
After those people are delivered, they would stay at the prayer mountain. They would lodge there at the prayer mountain.
This is the prayer mountain, the original site of the synagogue church of all nations.
Prayer mountain is a place full of water that TB Joshua dreads.
He has different islands on the lake there. And each of them has different prayer huts, prayer houses, small huts. I don't think there's any week that he doesn't go there. That's where he stays. He stays and does most of his work.
The 16 years I spent there, we are the prayer warrior, which is the powerhouse of the ministry. I happen to be the leader.
Now, somebody's taking note of what this guy said he does. He said he's the prayer warrior, which means they are the ones who pray on a regular day. Listen to this then. Let's continue. At the end, these people who came to tell this story, they begin to make a lot of mistakes in their storyline. They start contradicting themselves. Which made me think, how far did BBC have to go to cook this story up?
It will give you different assignments. There was one day, TB Joshua came to the mountain. They caught one fish, alive, very big. So in my presence, TB Joshua caught his beard, cut part of the hair, his private part. He poured those things in the mouth of that fish. Say we should take it back to the river and drop it. That was how they start multiplying. When they lay egg, they lay thousands of eggs. It's secretive. If we are talking about spiritual power, either it's Satan or it's God.
Loose me, Lord, from all relationships of the flesh.
Sexual immorality was a common thing that he would always talk about.
You have flirting spirits.
Just man of
Guys, quick update. As I'm just recording the video right now, I just came across a story. Not story per se. I personally just found out that this girl in question, which is the daughter, has actually gone on to set a crowdfunding, money sourcing platform. Now, you might say, what am I talking about, guys? You know, most times when I tell you that people do stories, they do not just do stories for no just cause. Actually, this girl in question, the so-called daughter of TB Joshua, has just started a crowdfunding medium, which I'm trying to plug up for you guys. Give me a second right here. We're going to do this live. It's right here. We are raising £12,500 to our Joker Goodwills, God's Wills, Joshua's first year university education. And they've raised £2,000 already. See, look, this was just a money grab. £50, £10, £50. There are so much contribution to the tune of £2,000. Listen, this is just a money grab. But let's just continue listening to their nonsense story they're telling us anyway. So I'm going to go back to the video right here.
He always painted and shamed women for being harlots and having the spirit of lust.
In the church.
Listen, madam, this guy is a pastor. He's not your brother, he's not your friend, he's not your uncle, he's not your boyfriend. He owes you nothing. He's a pastor. When he sees a spirit that is evil, he has no option but to call it out. This guy has called out the spirit of sickness in people, called out the juju out of people. Now he's calling out the harlot in people, and there is a problem. Why? How?
Harlot must be delivered.
Every woman had lust. Every female was struggling from the spirit of lust.
That spirit of immorality, out!
He created narratives about all of us. Oh, you know, this one's come, they've got a problem with men. Promiscuous.
He hit me. He slapped me. He punched me. He kicked me in the stomach.
All disciples go through this. Even the most powerful people have to be brought down because he is at the very top all the time.
If there's a plan for you, when you come to that meeting, you won't be able to defend yourself. Shut up! Bye! Keep quiet! What do you want to say? Do you want to argue with Papa? Do you want to argue with Daddy?
Man of God, please. Please help me.
That's me speaking.
What are the things you used to do?
I'm stubborn, I'm proud. I need forgiveness, please, everybody, please. You all know me, but I've changed.
I've been laid flat on the floor. My skirt was lifted up and I was just naked. He hit me with that horse whip.
He'll ask you lie down on the floor. He will use it. Bawa, 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 bawa. Everywhere blood.
Okay, now, this guy had just said that they were flogged, whipped, and stroked by the king or with the king. Why didn't he take his time to take his suit off? Let him show us the marks. Why didn't the others who were claiming they were being whipped, dealt with, take time to take off the back of their clothes, pause, not everything, and show us those marks? Well, no, we can see it.
Beat you without mercy.
He was really violent. We didn't speak about these things. There was no safe place. There was no friend. There was nobody you could go to and say, oh my God, this happened, I saw this. You'd be terrified.
It was very difficult to watch this man preach every Sunday. Topics about love and about mercy, they felt very strange coming from his lips. I was in primary school. I was made to move to the disciples' room. I didn't volunteer to be a disciple. I was made to join.
Ajoke grew inside the synagogue like an outcast.
I think he wanted to keep her a secret. I don't think he wanted anyone to know who she was. The message about Ajoke was that she had terrible evil spirits that needed to be driven out. There was a time in the disciples' meetings, he said that people could beat her. Anyone in the female dormitory could just hit her, and I saw people just walking in, just slapping her.
Please, how does this make any sense? Ah, God, listen, this is going too far. People try to make up stories of people that make them look so stupid. Just imagine Tibisha just saying something as silly as beat that girl when you feel like, how? Oh, you're trying to tell us that Tibisha is a crazy or was a crazy man? Is that what you're trying to say, young woman?
As they walked past.
That girl done. It pains me. She was still very young that time. Can you imagine how heartless we were?
The disciples were both brainwashed and enablers.
Now, if you look here, you see what she's doing. She has made an excuse already for the disciples. These disciples were mature people. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that at the end of the day, they're going to try and make an out for themselves. These disciples were mature people. If indeed the disciples were beating her, like she's saying, then disciples should be held accountable. They should be held responsible for inflicting pain on her. She cannot excuse those disciples and say they were just enablers. That makes no sense.
Everybody was just acting based on commands like zombies. Nobody was questioning anything. They were beyond fanatics.
He was a sexual predator. he was a ritualist. TB Joshua asked me to find virgins for him, to bring young girls into disciple fold.
Now look at this old woman right here. She said TB Joshua told her to bring virgins for him. Let me ask you a question. You watching this video, excuse me, auntie, can you just look for virgins and bring? What comes to your mind when a person says that? Let's suppose that it's true that TB Joshua actually said this word. What comes to your mind when a person tells you that? What do? You run. But they sat back there and you're telling me that you will not be held responsible as well? You will be held responsible.
In the midnight, this person will be called into his bedroom so that he could disvirgin them. When those girls come out, he usually take all the bed sheets and everything, he pack them and take them to the prayer mountain.
If any of us got pregnant, he said, you cannot betray the man of God. We have to do something about it. Women that he rapes, he forces them into abortion. I never had a choice whether I could keep a potential child or not. I felt like I didn't own my body.
You know it. You skip your first period, you skip your second period, and you have to talk. It would all done in secrecy. You'd be taken by one of these elder moms to this clinic of his.
I witnessed a lot of abortions. Lots of abortions.
If there's anybody who should be receiving strokes of cane right now, is this woman. This was the woman was spearheading all the nonsense there. If it actually happened. So this one was one who was supplying virgins. Now she did supply them. This woman, now they oversee counseling of babies. This woman has done too many evils. If you look in the eye, look. Anyway.
It can't be counted. I saw how they suffered. There were times I would go to the penthouse. I will be looking over to the main road. I'll be crying. I was crying for them.
Well, madam, how about you ran away, called the police to come and see what was going on? How about you made some noise, you left there immediately and did not stay back and claim the victim? Victim or volunteer? That's what I'm saying. Victim or volunteer?
How do you stand up to a man who has got a list of presidents in his pocket?
Okay, guys. So, that's been that for this session as well. We're going to go into the third and final session, and damn, it has been a very long one. But with that being said, I'll catch you in the last and final series. Thank you.